Hello everyone. Excuse me. We are in Matthew chapter 7 today, as we are going through the Bible challenge, trying to read one chapter, focus on one verse, and see how we can apply that to our lives. We're in Matthew chapter 7, which is in the Sermon on the Mount. I believe it's actually towards the end of the Sermon on the Mount, technically. That's here. So, with that, let's get to reading. Matthew 7. Judge not, that you be not judged. For with what judgment you judge, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not consider the plank in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me remove the speck from your eye, and look at a plank, a plank is in your own eye? Verse 5. Hypocrite, first remove the plank from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn and tear you in pieces. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks the door will be opened. What man is there among you, if his sons ask for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will he give him a serpent? If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give good things to those who ask him? Therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Enter by the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Because narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. Beware of false prophets, who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into fire. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, done many wonders in your name? Then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will like him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them, they will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the windows blew and beat on the house, and it fell, and great was its fall. And so it was, when Jesus had ended these sayings, that the people were astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority, not as the scribes. Let's see in the verse. So, the verse of today is actually two verses. That's Matthew chapter 7, obviously that's what we're in, verses 13 and 14. And that is, enter by the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Because narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. So, many times when I think about this verse, I think how it only applies to following Jesus. Actually, that's what I've been taught many times in there. Thinking about how this is supposed to be following Jesus, and how it's hard for people to follow Jesus. But the more I go through life, the more I look through life, the more I go through kind of what's happening here, that I see out in the world, and I hear different motivational speakers, and I hear millionaires give their testimonies to how their life was and how they got out of it. I have to think about this is less about just finding Jesus. And for me, I feel like it's more about breaking the conventional wisdom that we have. The idea that a lot of times we know what to do. You know what to do. You know that we need to read the Bible more to get into God's word if we want to be better. You know that, but you often don't do what you know you're supposed to do because for a myriad of reasons. It's too hard. You forget. It's not easy. You don't have the support that you need. There's so many other things that are going on that seems to make it difficult for us to do what we know we need to do. So when he says narrow is the gate, that is doing the things that are a little bit difficult now, doing the things, following through on your promises, doing the the little things, the things that separate you because you know you're going to the goal, that separate you from everybody else. When we can do those things, we are going to lead to life. But if we do what everyone else is doing, and if we take the time to sit down and not really do a whole lot, or we spend more time watching TV to medicate ourselves, basically, or we are doing different things to actually medicate ourselves, to numb the pain of our life, when we do those things instead of embracing that and in separating ourselves from that, we're not going to have life for that. It says, I believe it's in Proverbs, there is a way that seems right unto men, but in the way thereof leads to death. The idea that what may seem right, that what may seem like is a good idea, or that's what everyone does, but in the end it leads us to feeling trapped into our lives and that we can't do anything more with what God is trying to do, or that God's not there, or that the world's full of darkness, or take your pick. There's a way that seems right if you think about it conventionally, you think about it in terms of our society, but really it's going away more. It's not going away more. Let's find the right word. It's destroying us. For instance, talk about giving. Many people say you should give. I have a hard time sometimes giving. I know that I need to get over it. But giving, tithing, all that stuff like that, it many people want to say, well, I need that money, or the church doesn't need that money, or whatever. But tithing is not for the church. Tithing is for you. Tithing is for you to recognize. It's for us to recognize that we're going to God with our open hands and saying, God, we are giving what we have because we know it's all yours. And we know that if we give you back yours with an open hand, it's going to open up for us to see more opportunities than we could ever see before. Because we're walking around like this instead of like this. An old Chinese proverb, I think, some proverb from somewhere in the East, is that you can hold more with an open hand than you can with a closed fist. And that's the idea, is that when we give, we're having our hands open and we can actually hold more. We can actually receive more. Money doesn't have a hold on us because we're constantly giving it away. We're giving it to God. We're giving it to other people. We're giving it to different groups that are doing good work. It's not just to make us feel good inside, but it's for us to open up that part of our mind that says there is no scarcity in money. And it feels almost counterintuitive. It feels like you want to keep what you have that's yours. But that's not the case at all. If we can actually start giving that away on a consistent basis, it'll start to break its hold on us, because we're going to be less worried about the money that's going out, and we're going to be trying to figure out how we can add value so we can give more money. So that's my thought for today. I hope this is very helpful for you, and may you continue to be in God's Word every day. So what's the action we can do? We need to start diving into God's Word, and we start looking at what are some of the things that we're doing now that seems normal, that seems like we just have to just unload, that everyone tends to do, that we can start to break apart. And if you can, write it down. Start breaking apart different things that different things that you can do that's different from your normal routine, that will actually, according to God's Word, will start to bring you life. One of them is giving. The other one could be getting up early to read the Bible. The third one is praying for your enemies, wanting to bless them. Different things that seems unconventional, doesn't seem right. But by reading the Bible and seeing what people in the Bible have done will lead to the life of Jesus. Well, thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.